If you're just joining us, Dan Spitz, the founder of Anthrax, was on with us. Both of his totally healthy twin boys that were already acting in movies at a year old got vaccines and gone. Lay on the couch for 5 days. Then this is everybody I've talked to. I mean, and a lot of people, the kids don't end up being autistic. They get the shot. You know, they go to sleep for 2 days. They don't talk for a while. Then they come out of it. And that's just God, you know, fighting through and helping the kids. But you know, I like Candy Spitz, but what the establishment does is they say, don't be too radical. This happened with Jenny McCarthy. Don't be too radical. It scares people. Well, the globalists are radical, and only admitting how radical the attack is will defeat the attack. Okay, this is an attack. And, you know, she's like, well, space out the shots. Listen, I got 3 children. They've never had a needle in them. And we had our first child, you know, you fill out, you know, the orders you want. And they were like trying to not even give us those, you know. And then they're like, you don't want vaccines? And I said, look, don't try to tell me it's the law. Don't engage in fraud. And they left me alone. Now, a family that looks scared, they eye you like criminals, like a mark. They're like, this is neglect and abuse. And then they call it that. There's not even a law, and they take your kids. This is a psyop of evil. And I declare absolute resistance. God, just heal this land. I know as adults we deserve a lot of bad for what we've done, the abortion, everything else. I've been decadent. I've been bad in my life as well. But our Heavenly Father, not the children. I get physically angry up here when I'm covering these type stories, okay? I have nightmares. I'm going to be honest with you. One time, Mike Hansen, this family was about to have a baby. They had no criminal record. He was an auto mechanic. They were living in a hotel while they moved to another apartment. And they came, and she was blonde-haired, blue-eyed. So was he. Those babies can get $500,000. And I'll never forget. We were talking to the family. They were listeners. They called in the show. They said CPS is saying they're going to take the baby when it's born or might. They called the show. They gave Mike Hansen's cell phone number when he was running the Access TV show. This is like 15 years ago, 16 years ago. And they called Mike one day. And when we went down there, we opened the door because the police had got there, and the cop was choking the woman, literally like a movie, red-handed with his hands on her neck going, sign it, sign it. And the dad was kept outside, and the cop looked up at me, and he looked like a bad guy out of a movie, you know, like a guy you see creeping around parks or something, and it hit me, and my whole instinct was defend that woman, but he knew, America's mine. I got this kid, boom, I'm on it, like a wolf, and I knew. And then I famously, you know, went and called into a local talk show and broke down, and people thought it was my children being taken. They're like, well, he said it was somebody else's kid. Why is he so upset? I was like howling, crying. And it's because I realized they're going to kill everybody. They're going to, listen, what they didn't get is, you notice she was saying, well, it's a change of life now. It's now 1 in 50 from 1 in 25,000, and it's going to be 1 in 10 and then 1 in 2. And this is just the way we are, and you can't stop it. Did you hear her? You can't stop it. It's coming to you. And see, that's the PR being put out. This is just a way of life. Like, she's been through it. She's saying at a subconscious level, you will now drink of this cup. No, I won't. But listen, to the cops and everybody, you're all going to die young, too. You're all going to get neurological disorders. People are getting Alzheimer's at 45 now. They just call it dementia. You're going to die. Your family's going to die. You're all going to die. This isn't dramatics. I see clearly. I know the enemy. Okay? I'm risking. People say, why aren't you scared then? Because they're killing everybody. What is the point? I'm trying to find the avenue of attack on these people. I'm trying to find the life force lever to flip in you where you get some simple survival instinct. I mean, they have Lone Star College down in Houston, the same place 2 gangbangers shot each other, and they said, take the guns. Now somebody stabbed 12 people with a 1-inch X-Acto knife, and they're talking about banning X-Acto knives because society's a bunch of idiots stabbing each other. And it's big news. Oh, my gosh. And there's police and armed guards at that inner city college. I mean, that college is in the middle of the ghetto in one of the roughest cities in America. And thank God the citizens of Houston have guns to protect themselves, or it'd be like Chicago where killers are just killing everybody. I mean, they are sitting there with the X-Acto knife on TV with this doctor salivating over it, discussing the X-Acto knife and getting people to basically freak out in fear over it. And, a citizen with a 1-inch knife. Oh, they fall in fear because they're such cowards. People now, when a coyote comes out in the park, they fall down and it kills them. Coyotes never attack humans. People pull a knife, people now fall over like a movie to be stabbed. That's America. I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com. Time to wake up. Realize the enemy's running over all of us. Time to truly live. Number 1, hate the enemy. Love your family. Stand up against these scum. I mean, you're under hardcore attack. The depopulation program is going on pell-mell right now. Liability protection for vaccines, GMO, aspartame to be added to basically every product under the sun, not tell you. Death to the left, death to the right, seizures to the left, neurological disorders to the right. I, for one, see through it. Mike Adams sees through it. He's got some breaking news here in a moment on Bitcoin. I haven't even gotten to this article. It's up at drudgereport.com, where the child had the water gun, well, talked about a water gun at school, and so they took the dad's guns at home out of his gun safe. I mean, it's just total Sovietization. Totally illegal. But they don't care. They do it. It's about them taking over to keep you safe from Al-Qaeda they run. And from the mass shootings they stage and set up by making them gun-free zones, victim disarmament, mass killer zones to teach the kids to crouch over in a good ball so the killer can get the maximum number of dead so they can hopefully get our guns next time. Well, guess what? We're on to you, and this is boomerang back on you. By the way, I want to announce the Infowars.com, InfoWarsHealth.com health challenge. I'm challenging listeners to get healthy in the face of the new world order in the month of April. And let's put InfoWars Health up there on screen for folks. Again, I'm challenging listeners to go to InfoWarsHealth.com and sign up and try the great products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Alex Pack, the Healthy Start Pack, Pollen Burst Plus, Root Beer Belly, Probiotics, and almost 400 other amazing products, turmeric root, resveratrol. It's all up there, InfoWarsHealth.com, or give our great crew a call for any questions, 888-789-9277. If you need help getting signed up for auto shipping to get free shipping, that's a big discount. Give us a call as well. You can do it on the website, InfoWarsHealth.com, 888-789-9277, 888-789-9277, InfoWarsHealth.com, and getting your longevity products at InfoWarsHealth.com helps fund our operation as we kamikaze in the info war right into the enemy. Also, we have the lowest price out there on the Survival Seed Vault, heirloom, non-GMO stuff. Absolutely awesome for your summer or fall garden or your late spring garden coming up. That is available at InfoWarsStore.com, along with all the other great products. And don't forget the ProPure high-quality water filtration systems, which are the lowest price anywhere with the promo code WATER. All available at InfoWarsStore.com. That's InfoWarsStore.com, or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139. And hey, did you hear? Kids abducted by their own parents. They don't say that here in the USA Today article. Look at this article for folks watching on TV. Kids abducted in Florida, custody case taken to Cuba. Kids abducted. Yeah, you got to go to another tyranny to escape the ultimate tyranny. But see, America kind of has a parallel running. Like the old liberty's being destroyed while the new tyranny's expanding. There's like 2 railroad tracks here. So we're going to be breaking all of that down. Now, shifting gears here, ladies and gentlemen, is a naturalnews.com story that you can also find up at Infowars.com. And I want to be clear here with Mike Adams, and I know he's being clear as well. We support digital fiat currencies, gold currencies, silver currencies, open source currencies, free currencies, diverse currencies, not just the private Federal Reserve note that masquerades as the dollar. I want to be 110% clear right now about that. My issue is my spidey sense months ago, or a year ago, when this first started getting hyped, when everybody's talking about it, when did Kennedy's dad, Joe Kennedy, say he got out of the stock market when a shoeshine boy the day before it crashed told him what stock to buy? Actually, he was an insider and warned, but that was kind of his story. Everybody's getting into Bitcoin, and it's foggy where it came from. I'm sure some good libertarians are involved, but this can be used just like they used a fake test to discredit alternative energy back in the 80s to try to discredit and then outlaw digital open source currencies. And I'm very, very worried about this up front. I've not bought any. I could tell it was going to go up the way it was just being hyped and pushed in ways I didn't understand. And I'm very, very suspicious of the whole thing. And again, they've gone completely parabolic. It's going straight up right now. There's new documents out that the central banks are artificially depressing gold and silver to keep the bond market up and to cover up inflation. So this is going straight up while gold and silver is being driven down a bit right now, which I see as a buying opportunity. And again, I'm not against fiat currencies if they're private, public, transparent, and have somewhat of a history. And I get, well, it has to have a history by being born. Exactly. And the globalists will want to strangle these little babies in the crib, or at least give them an injection to dumb them down so they won't be troubled. It's kind of like a lion killing baby male lions or a grizzly killing baby male grizzlies. You know, the globalists do this to you now. They make sure the boys are brain damaged so you won't give them any trouble before the big robot rollout and the soft kill operation. So Mike Adams of Natural News pops in to get, he's a smart business guy and on many fronts. I tend to respect his opinion. Well, I don't tend to. I haven't found anything I disagree with Mike Adams on. That's rare to say. Disagree with myself more half the time listening to rebroadcast than I do with him. Mike, what is your take on this, and why are you saying the Bitcoin bubble, why speculative Bitcoin buy-ins now point to a disastrous Bitcoin crash? Mike Adams of naturalnews.com.
Hi, Alex. Thanks for having me on. And I'm glad you pointed out that we both are supporters of a decentralized peer-to-peer cryptocurrency in theory. The idea is wonderful. We need competition for the central banks. So I'm not anti-Bitcoin, and I want to be very, very clear about that. In fact, we promoted it. I mean, our store even accepts Bitcoins. You know, we want people in Bitcoins overall. But what's happening now is it has converted. It's become too popular too quickly. It has become a mania.
By the way, you know I privately predicted that to you.
You did. Yes, you did. You're exactly right on.
But I smell something here.
Well, it could be that it's just people jumping on board. I mean, we're seeing this, you know, we have an office in Asia, and we've been getting inside reports that in China now, this is the new casino. Buy Bitcoins, ride it, you know, buy it low and sell it high. This is a speculative bubble in the making. It doesn't mean it's going to crash tomorrow. It may still go much, much higher. It could reach 500, it could reach 1,000, even $10,000 a Bitcoin. But eventually, it's going to crash hard. And I bet my reputation on that, Alex. I am 100% sure we're going to see a massive Bitcoin crash at some point with an ultra-accelerated velocity of the crash. It will be the fastest crash of any currency in the history of human civilization. And there are mathematical reasons for that I've tried to lay out in the story that I just published. I think it's up on InfoWars. But it will be a high-velocity crash. The reason is because people are buying Bitcoins who don't know what Bitcoins are and who have no use for them. These are speculators. They're buying Bitcoins in the same way that people bought tulip bulbs in the tulip bulb mania of, I think, 1637. It's going to be the same thing. It's just a new vehicle, and it's going to crash Bitcoins eventually, at which point they will become a good value to buy once the crash has happened, Alex.
Go over some more of the mathematics for people.
All right. Well, Everybody who's holding Bitcoins right now believes that their Bitcoins are worth $200, $210 because that's the latest market price for the Bitcoins. So there has been literally hundreds of millions of dollars in valuation that has been artificial.